Welcome to another edition of the Delaware Valley Original Music Showcase. Tonight we continue our mission of helping to support original music in the Delaware Valley with our three-step process. Listen, experience, and pass on original music in the Delaware Valley. But we need your help to get the word out. So let's get started. Tonight's artist calls South Jersey home. His career and music have taught him a lot about life, and it's taken him on many journeys. One which had him living in Israel for 10 years. Now he's back home, writing and sharing his music. Let's meet Yares here on the DV Showcase. First up, his song, Moments of Rust.
When I can't get on, hearts don't seem to fit. I'm known for the weary, everything is sweat, and the daylight is dim, and the dark pitch black. I've got nowhere to go, and the path ain't lit. All these moments of rust that you can't shake off, stuck to your bones, staining your heart. Well, the color ain't off. Oh, we're broken down beauty. You've got to let your heart try to smarten you up. Oh, the chrome don't glow, and the shine gone dull. Silence, a vacuum pulling you through. Well, the tough can't get going. Atlas has shrugged. Whole world starts to slip, and I'm sliding away. These moments of rust that you can't shake off, stuck to your bones, staining your heart. Well, the color ain't off. Well, we're broken and beauty. Gotta let your heart try to smarten you up. Primal scream in the field, try to cuss out the names. Well, it all seems so lost. You still grip the wheel. You could pull on over, and the journey don't break, 'cause we are but water, and we'll find our way out. We are but water, and we'll find our way out. All these moments of rust that you can't shake off, stuck to your bones, staining your heart. Well, the color ain't off. Yeah, we're broken down beauty. You've gotta let your heart shine, smarten you up. Yeah, you gotta let your heart shine. You gotta let your heart shine.
Now they got a taste of his music. Let's find out more about Amir in the interview and his song Harvest.
Have you seen the whitest fire rising from the bar?
I've always been prone to music. I've been playing since I was like very, very young. Didn't pick up the guitar until I was, I guess, 11 or 12. 12, I think that's when I picked it up. But I was always like enamored by songwriting, envisioning like my greatest hits like compendium, like in the shower when I was like in elementary school, So I always had like, dreams of grandeur and things like that. But really, high school was a great place to get into songwriting, I grew up in like mid-90s, so like grunge and metal were like big in middle school, and Pearl Jam, Primus, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Metallica, Red Hot Chili Peppers were all like putting out incredible music, and that was like got me to play guitar. And then as time progressed, love it or hate it, Dave Matthews Band, Grateful Dead, Blind Melon, they really drove me in the early part of high school and stuff.
The water's warm, the air is freezing, these high winters are fall.
So I was writing songs, doing my thing with people, trying to live the dream, play and tour in the county, in Camden County, coffee shop to coffee shop, But really, it all went away for a little bit. I had like a bout of situational depression, I guess, and kind of stopped writing music and really got into instrumental stuff. It felt better for me at that point. And then sometime in college, started listening to Randy Newman and a lot more Tom Waits, Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska, and Astral Weeks from Van Morrison. And those albums and those musicians like turned it around for me. And with the run-in of a couple other singer-songwriters at Rutgers, where I went to school, really changed my life, and I got back into songwriting again. And just always been interested in just moments in life to capture, preserve. I love songs connected to history and place. I love nostalgia, And so I think that's what you'll hear in music that I do now.
And underneath this root and rock well, the water's on the rise as these drops of crimson start to spread. This is harvest time.
Pandemic was a hot mess. It's ironic is that a buddy of mine who played percussion with me a lot, maybe a month or two before the pandemic, I was sitting down and was like, let's talk about artist identity. Let's talk about like where I go next. And I was like gearing up to put my feet down and really like lean into being a singer-songwriter again and trying to get myself out there, take more professional risks. And then that was all shut down. And I was, at that point, my daughter was about 1.5 years old, and wasn't playing anywhere anymore, and kind of dealt with that. It was hard. It was really hard. I did a better job at helping other people write music during that time. Did a lot of work with youth nonprofits, partnering with like World Cafe Live and Mighty Writers, and helping young poets to turn their poetry into songs. And then also worked in something called the Carnegie Hall Lullaby Project, and I would help along with a bunch of other musicians help young parents write songs for their kids, and that was like the big outlet. And I wasn't doing so much creatively. As time moved on, I started to get more open with writing, and a friend of mine put out a compilation called Songs from the Inside that had a bunch of local Philly musicians, Emily Joy Goldberg, and so that was a great thing to get a track on that and push myself to record. And then the big thing for me is I finally got tired of being so apprehensive about writing music again, and got together with a bunch of other musicians once a week for a couple months, and we did prompt writing. I'd pick a prompt, and we'd all try to write a song, a full song, in about an hour and a half, hour and 15 minutes, and I wrote 12 songs in the course of 4 months, and that's never happened before in my entire life. And so, you know, the pandemic forced me to really take a good look at what was important to myself, and to free myself up from those demons and roadblocks and voices that prevent me from being creative. You know, self-criticism is like the worst thing in the world. On one hand, it's like I want to put out the best possible thing, so it's good that I have some critiquing in me, but sometimes, or often, it's too much, and just try to shut that voice down. Just play music. Just let it be what it be. And if it's a shitty song, great. That means the next one might be a little bit better, or I'll learn from my mistakes or something. You know, so it's a growth mindset.
Well, this bowl of crimson will catch your eye when you'll be driving by. Stop a minute to rest your mind. Will you thank yourself a dime?
Most of my time I run a nonprofit that does therapeutic art making called Build a Bridge International. And so a couple years ago, I took over from the co-founders of the organization. I work with musicians and dancers and visual artists and actors from all over Philadelphia to help people, first of all, make art, but also learn about life through art making. So, you know, every project has a metaphor you can take away and learn something about yourself and the world around you. So we hope that this sense of imagination and creativity help people heal from trauma that they've experienced. You know, we're not a cure, but we're definitely a path along the way. And so that's like my full-time gig. And we work with refugees, sex trafficking survivors, youth around Philadelphia.
And all this beauty passes from season to century. You best catch it while the moment lasts. From winter's icy grass.
You know, I do my singer-songwriter thing here and there. Do a lot of work in the Jewish community, accompanying services in DC and Philadelphia, and sometimes out in Colorado too, which is great. You know, it's like I'm a real working musician. I want to be playing more under my own identity. You know, I'm able to sneak my songs in here and there to gigs and stuff, and that feels good. But I'd like to be a little bit more straightforward and not, a little bit more straightforward in placing my music where it can be seen and heard. You know.
Let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Where we haven't got too long.
I get a lot of different comparisons. The one that I can't honestly say I thought about is some people say there's like a bit of a Cat Stevens vibe to the music. I've gotten a little bit of Jack Johnson before. But I guess, you know, if you're looking for something, you know, it's folk music rooted in the past, but really embracing the present. It'll sound familiar to you, but also sound new. And you'll hear, you know, a little bit of all your favorite singer-songwriters in there, from, you know, Robbie Robertson to Bob Dylan. A little bit more aggressive sounds from Eddie Vedder and Ani DeFranco. Fits squarely in Americana, you know. Gives me the opportunity to dip into country, dip into bluegrass, dip into rock and roll, you know.
Let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Where we haven't got too long.
Yeah, I sent you one that was just finished a few weeks ago called Moments of Rust. Filmed here in Philadelphia at an upcycle / salvage storefront called Providence. And a buddy of mine came up from Maryland, did a couple filmings of different artists from Philadelphia. Also an artist and musician himself. LJR Creative is the name of the company, and he does some really beautiful stuff. His name's Luke. So I filmed something called Moments of Rust, and that was a tune. It's actually inspired by the stories of women who were overcoming abuse. And, you know, often, I don't want to speak too much on their behalf. I just want to say that coming off of great hurt, is a powerful message, and to reframe that experience and to grow stronger from it is really important. All of us experience moments of rust, those moments where we're hurting, and no one likes to hurt, but maybe there's a way to push through that hurt and take something away from it. It's inevitable. Hurt's inevitable. Will all hurt in some way, some greater than others. But the idea is that rust comes off, and so we can come off with tragedy and trauma and renew. And that's what Moments of Rust is about. It's called Harvest, and actually that's the last show I played before the pandemic at the Philadelphia Folk Song Society, and that's actually a full band set. It's got fiddle, upright bass, percussion, and myself playing 12-string guitar. And that's off my solo EP, and I have a couple albums out. When I was living in Jerusalem, I played with a band called Holler, and we have a self-titled album, about 9 or 10 tracks that I'm really, really proud of. That was like the first studio recording I've ever done, and then 2 with my brother who plays upright bass. It was called the Brothers Yares. And then in 2018, finally got together to record under my own name, and put out a 5-track EP from Turtle Studios, and Ross Belenois, a local producer and just all around unreal musician, helped produce it. And this track Harvest, speaking of South Jersey upbringing, is about the beauty of cranberry bogs, but really talking about how beauty passes and to hold on to it, and especially like us going into the colder months right now, like this is really the transition time. Like last week it was like 70 degrees, and then this week it's like frigid, and it's it's all about that beauty of being in the moment. And the cranberry harvest seems so short when it happens. I'll be driving by a bog or something, and this burst of crimson coming out of the water, and then I'll drive by a couple days later and they're all gone. All the cranberries are gone. And it's tragic, but it's beautiful at the same time. Like, how can I use my love of music to keep playing it for people, but pay my college loans, and pay my rent. And I found that, teaching instrumental music or finding this way to embrace society and culture through understanding its music was like a great way to do it. And in college, I studied Jewish studies and music. And so speaking of society and culture, like not the weird thing, but like what had me going in college, I was studying the music of Jews who were Arabs, and there's a long history of that kind of gets forgotten. And there's much more representation today about it, but 20 years ago it wasn't really being talked about so much. And I grew up with a lot of tension between Israeli and Palestinian identities, and I always found that the music of the Arab world was a way to connect. So yeah, I studied that in college, and that was also like, I wasn't studying how to play music or how to perform that type of music, but I was like, how is music a lens into the world, And so that's how it got me into education. It was like, I may not be playing this music or teaching people how to play it, but there's stories that should be told through the music. And so stick a guitar in front of me and I'll sing you a song in Hebrew, I'll sing you a song in my poorly spoken Arabic, when possible, or sing you something that I wrote, There's
beauty in every season, in everything you feel. The cuts are rough, they might just heal. The scars are yours to seal. Or you can clasp your hands together, or just choose to set them free. Well, the choice is yours and yours alone. Just don't lather up misery. Let it last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Well, we haven't got too long. Let it last. last now. Let me take you in my arms. Let it last now. Where we haven't got too long. Hold on. Long. We haven't got too long. Thank you.
Here again is Yares. I Go Home.
I've seen your face, and I have touched your lines, creases, dented, tone, and divine, crossing cities, seas, and great escapes. I think my tenor might have changed its song, when I think my choir might have sang it all. You might just take me back and raise me up, and baby, let me down again. Still I don't know where my body be, somewhere between here and there, just ain't close enough. I feel your touch, and I go to home, to home, to home, and I go to home. Wind whipping at your face and your heart starts to race, a faint trace of fate starts to rise. On the road, this road, singing out loud to the stereo songs. Won't you feel these sounds down the depths of your soul, the shake, rattle, and roll of your bones, and I go to home. A little bit, not too much, something soft and warm to touch, to break my fall when these sails are thin. Been in the air, it's way too long, arms outstretched to what may fall. You might just take it back and lay me down, maybe have your way with me. Still I don't know where my body be, somewhere between here and there, just ain't close enough. How to feel your touch, and I go to home, to home, to home, and I go to home. Wind whipping at your face and your heart starts to race, a faint trace of fate starts to rise. On the road, this road, singing out loud the stereo songs. Won't you feel these sounds down to the depths of your soul, the shake, rattle, and roll of your bones, and I go to home. And even greener the grass it seems, the earth down here just splits your seams. Hemming and hawing, I'll know where it's near, know where it's near. Best I can't seem to see start to have their way with me. Well, if only better days were here at last. I were here at last, and I go to home, to home, to home, and I go to home. whipping at your face and your heart starts to race. A faint trace of fate starts to rise. On the road, this road, singing out loud the stereo songs. Won't you feel these sounds down to the depths of your soul, the shake, rattle, and roll of your bones? And I go to home, to home, to home, and I go to home. Wind whipping at your face and your heart starts to race. A faint trace of fate starts to rise. On the road, this road, singing out loud the stereo songs. Won't you feel these sounds down to the depths of your soul, the shake, rattle, and roll of your bones? And I go to home.
We'd like to thank the Delaware Rock and Roll Society for allowing us to continue our mission. And here, one more time, is Amir with his song Can't Keep the Truth Locked Away.
Unfurl the past like an old map. Look from where we came, look at where we're at. A path dependent we seem to be. Our sins repeat at the risk of losing everything.
Chains can break and bonds unbound. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause you can't keep your roof locked away. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause you can't keep your roof locked away. No, you can't keep your roof locked away.
Untruth to truth, darkness to light. Unveil the beauty that sits between the eyes. Don't let their lies burden your load. Truth moves in you and will keep you strong.
Words have weight, and these chains can break. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause you can't keep your roof locked away. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause you can't keep your roof locked away. No, you can't keep your roof locked away.
You see the people here got the mind to work. Kick the dirt from this hurt. Let your love show for the world.
Words have weight, and these chains can break. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause we can't keep your roof locked away. We'll shake the shackles, rattle the cage, 'cause you can't keep your roof locked away. No, 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 you can't keep your roof locked away.